Okay, so problem number 2. What's the operation on number 2? Subtraction, that's right. So we are subtracting. So this is like f of n minus g of n. So really important that you understand that that's what that's doing, because you really have to find the f of n first and then subtract the g of n. So f of n is 3n squared plus 5n. And then we are subtracting 3n minus 5. But we have to put parentheses there because we are subtracting all of that. Does that make sense? Okay, so then what do we need to do to simplify that? Distribute that negative. So this is like, let me put it in a different color. This is like plus a -1, and we have to distribute that negative. So this is 3n squared plus 5n. And then -1 times 3n would be -3n. -1 times -5 will be plus 5. And then I'm going to call somebody to tell me what the simplifying is. What do you think that would be?
3n squared.
Good.
Plus 2n plus 5.
Good. Does that make sense? Someone say no? Is it the minus?
No, it's just like a lot.
It is a lot. It's different than what we had done before. It's a bunch of algebra today. So some of the students last class finished it, but not every, but most students did not. Okay, what's the operation on number 3? Multiplication, that's right. So this would be the same thing as f of n times g of n. So our f of n is -4n plus 3. And we're multiplying, so I'm going to put parentheses around them. Multiplying by 3n minus 5. So how do I multiply that when we multiply that? So Derek says the claw. What do you think about that? Yeah, so the claw, or like to think of it as foil, but you want to have some sort of picture to make sure that you are doing all of your multiplication there. So and showing those arrows. So we take this one times this one. What's -4n times 3n? -12n squared. Good. And then -4n times -5 plus 20n. 3 times 3n plus 9n. And then 3 times -5, -15. So now we're going to add our like terms. -12n squared plus 29n minus 15 is equal to f times g of n. Okay, go ahead and do number 4 as a U try. Do that on your own. No one needs.
Wait, you can do it.
So I just wait, just 5x. Yeah. So it's actually 8x minus 7.
I know, but I want to know.
Are all these markers?
Okay, we get it. You think they're about to be
Sorry, I'm just so disgusted.
We get it.
Sorry.
Oh, I should. Did you copy me?
He did.
Promise? What? You also surprised me that your gun was broken. You remember that? When you lied to me?
Yeah.
It's your only true best friend.
Yeah, you didn't even sign the contract.
Yeah. You didn't even sign the best friend contract. It's fucked up.
You don't do it there.
Oh. Okay. Hey there. Hi. Oh.
That is the
Oh wow. So that was really scary. I think these drawings are really good. Oh. So it kind of looks like Elijah. Oh. Just kidding.
That's crazy.
Alright, so do you want me to wait for him?
What?
She said, do you want me to wait for him?
So really easy to forget that we have to distribute the negative here. So this is going to be a 3x minus 2 minus.
Wait, why are you putting parentheses around this?
We can actually, well,
Can
You just don't need to.
So we all that.
So remember on this, you want to write it as minus and then put that in parentheses, x squared plus 5x. Just
Oh.
questions on that? Oh.
Just like we got it.
Oh.
Wait.
Questions on that?
Right.
I get it.
Okay.
Wait.
It's a really common mistake to forget to distribute that negative to both of them. So when you write that, you have to put parentheses around that and then distribute that negative.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah.
What's different here? Yep. Yep. We've got a number this time here. I do not know. This is doing weird things. It's a number there. So this is the same again as f of 4 plus g of 4. So we could do that, or what might be another way that we could do that? I'll show you that way in a second. What might be another way? Could we add them first? And then do what? And put the 4 inside. That's right. Put it to the. So this is f of 4 plus g of 4. So we want to find first f of 4. And so to find f of 4, we're going to do what with the 4? Put it into this equation. So that would be 2 times 4 plus 5. So we're going to find that first, f of 4. And that's going to be 8 plus 5 or 13. So f of 4 is 13. And then we're going to find g of 4. So how do we find g of 4? Yeah, we're going to put the 4 in the g function, which would be 4 minus 4. So we're putting the 4 in place of the x. 4 minus 4. And what's 4 minus 4? 0. So this is 13 plus 0. So this is what f of 4 is, gives us 13, and then we're going to take the 13 plus 0 at the very end because it's a addition. F of 4 plus g of 4. Yep, so 13 is f plus g of 4. So it's a little bit more steps, isn't it? But we have to put that number in there. So when we have g minus h of 10, how are we going to do that? G of 10. It's the same as g of 10 minus h of 10. So again, if we're doing it this way, we have to find the g of 10 first, then find the h of 10 and subtract. So we're doing the problems. There's frequently mistakes on this one because students want to subtract before they find the answer. So find each one individually first and then subtract. Because remember that subtraction you're going to have to distribute if you don't find that first. So let's first find g of 10. So g of 10 would be, how would we find Kobe? What would we do to find g of 10? Good, so it's 10. Good. So we're going to find out what that is. So that would be 100 minus 4 or 96. We're going to find that first. And then we're going to find our h of 10. So how would we find our h of 10?
10 plus 1.
Let's see. That's right. So we're plugging it into this equation here. So that's just going to be a 10 plus 1 or 11. And now when we're doing subtraction, we're going to take the 96 minus the 11 because it's the g of 10 minus h of 10. Does that make sense? So 96 minus 11, which is 85. And that's our g minus h. So you could, if you wanted to, you could subtract the two functions first, find that answer, and put the 10 in last. I find that, especially with subtraction and multiplication, putting it in first and then doing your operation last. Okay, number 7. Am I going too fast? Okay. So number 7, what operation are we doing on number 7? Multiplication. So we have f of 2, negative 2, times g of negative 2. So let's find f of negative 2 first. Elijah, can you plug in the negative 2 into the equation there? Good. Negative 2 squared minus, good, minus negative 2. So I put parentheses around here. Do I have to put parentheses around that negative 2? We do. You have to square the negative 2, not just the 2. So negative 2 squared would be, what's negative 2 quantity squared? 4, and then minus a negative would be like plus 2 or 6, but we still have to find our g of negative 2. So the g of negative 2, substitute that in for me, Henry. Find g of negative 2 for me. What do I do to find that? Good. And then what will that give us? Negative 5, good. So now we want to do multiplication. So we're going to take our 6 and multiply it by negative 5. Because remember, this is f of negative 2 times g of negative 2. So we're going to take the two answers and multiply. So that is negative 30. Okay, I'm going to have you do one on the homework and I'll check it. So we're going to stop there.